Aubrey, she has a complicated question. I think it's something that a lot of you will relate to. So let's hear from Aubrey.
Hi, Kristen. It's Aubrey. I know that you've had several other careers in the past before the podcast, and I'm just wondering if you can touch on, how did you know that this was the thing for you rather than just a shiny new ADHD obsession? The podcast has obviously been very successful, which is awesome for you and for us. But I guess I'm just wondering, if it hadn't been successful, how long would you have given it before trying something else? I feel like the dopamine of success and money definitely is a huge motivator in being able to stick with something even when it's super hard. So for someone who isn't getting any success or money from their endeavors, I'm just curious. Number one, how do you pick something when you could imagine yourself being happy and fulfilled doing lots of things? What are the exact questions one might ask themselves to figure out their why and gain purpose and clarity? Number two, how do you not crash and burn after a few months or years of doing it? And number three, how do you ignore all the little voices of doubt and panic when the thing isn't working or when you've lost interest in it? I'm sorry if this question is a lot. I'm just struggling in this Groundhog Day loop of picking something up and then throwing it away. So thank you so much for your podcast. I have genuinely learned so much about myself over the years, and nobody does it like you. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, that was so nice. Thank you, Aubrey. That was such a compliment. I didn't expect that at the end there. Thank you. Okay, what I want to know from Aubrey and anyone who is resonating with what she's saying is, why do you keep throwing things away? You said, I keep picking things up and then throwing them away. And I just want to know, why? Why are we throwing them away? You asked me, how did you know that this was the thing for you? I didn't know. I was scared. I didn't know. So for those of you who don't know my story, I started podcasting at the very end of 2018. I was at the time running a tutoring company. So I owned a tutoring company. It was like a learning center in my hometown. And I was working with students who struggled in school. I was overseeing 7 employees. It was great. I loved it. I was good at it. I enjoyed it. It took me a while, but I built it up to where I was making enough money to pay our bills, and we were living, a comfortable-ish life. And I was really happy with that. And then I started the podcast, and I was doing 2 things at one time. I was podcasting and I was running the tutoring business. And then I started coaching. And so I was podcasting and coaching and still running my tutoring business. I didn't know that this would be a really good, successful move, but I did know that people had started listening to the podcast, and a lot of people were requesting coaching from me more than I had time to serve. More people were reaching out than I had time to fulfill. And so that was great. But to leave something that you love, that you're good at, that is paying the bills, to go to something else was such a hard decision. And I remember sitting in our family room, Greg and I sitting there, and me being like, I feel like I should make this change, but I'm scared. And I don't, just like you said, Aubrey, I don't want it to be shiny object syndrome. Am I just ditching the one thing for something that I think the grass is greener? And that decision was really difficult. Ultimately, there was no magic pill. There was no magic way to figure it out. And I think for those of you who are struggling to start, that might be a reason why, that you're waiting around for the magic. You're waiting around for I just need a sign from the heavens, or I just need to be sure that this is going to work. And unfortunately, as humans, we're not afforded that assurance. We don't get to know in advance if something is going to be successful. That's just the cold, hard facts. It sucks. I wish that wasn't the case. but that is just what it is. So I will say, and I already said this, there were people listening to the podcast. There were people reaching out for coaching. It's not like I wasn't seeing success in those areas, but was it enough to make a career transition? I don't know. But Greg was so encouraging. He was like, just do it. Just go for it. You are feeling this pull toward it. And so I had his support in order to make that change. That was huge. But I worked 2 jobs for over a year, like building up the podcast and the coaching business. And working 2 jobs is not fun. That was not fun. I had 2 jobs. I had 3 kids. It was not easy. So when I made that transition, it felt heavy. It felt scary. It was like embarking on something with very little assurance. So I don't think that's going to be helpful to you, because I think what you want me to say is like, there are some clear-cut ways that you can know exactly when to make a switch. And there's just not. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. Let me go to your next question, which is like, how do you not crash and burn when the dopamine wears off? And I will tell you that I do crash and burn. I do. Do you think that I wanted to come into the podcast studio today and record this podcast? I'm sorry. I love you. I love you, Aubrey, and all of you listening, but no, I did not. It is a gorgeous day. And I was out like in my garden, puttering around, weeding, deadheading flowers. I was picking hydrangeas, and I did not want to come to work. Like, who wants to go to work? Do you know what I'm saying? So like, I think again that we have this idea that if I'm doing what I'm meant to do, that I'm going to feel good about it all the time. And that the dopamine will never wear off. And that is just not true. Like, I know that this is the job for me. I know that like driving into Philly and coming here and recording the pod, I know this is what I meant to do. But did I want to do it today? No. Was I dreading it even last night as I was like preparing? Yeah, I was dreading it. Like, I'm sorry. I hope that's not offensive to you. Like, maybe you think that I'm just like on a dopamine high all day, every day with my job. I'm not. I just want to like bum around and wear pajamas and putter in my garden. That's all I want to do. So yeah, I think that like we do crash and burn, but the why behind it has to be strong. So the why is I want to help as many people with ADHD as possible. The why is if I don't podcast, then I won't have a podcast. Like, that's just like pretty cut and dry. I want to have a podcast. And if I don't come in here and record it, I'm not going to have a podcast. You know what I mean? I want to be a person who has a successful podcast. Well, in order to do that, I got to put on my Philadelphia Phillies t-shirt and come on in here to Manayunk and record this podcast. Like, that's just what I have to do. I want my kids to be able to go to college. I want to be able to retire. Like, those things also are drivers, right? So I really, really want you to know that no matter what you choose to do, there will be days, weeks, months when you're just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It doesn't mean it's the wrong thing. Never in my last 6 years have I thought, oh, I'm on the wrong course. This is just what it feels like to have a job. This is just what it feels like to be doing the right thing in your life. It doesn't actually feel good. And I think so many people with ADHD are waiting around to feel really good in their job, in their career, like really like dopamine-y and very just aligned all of the time. And like, this is, I don't have any fear. I don't have any doubt. I don't wonder if this is the right thing. I'm just like, this is just perfect all of the time. And truly, I think having a job is just hard. I think being human is hard. I think being obligated to like put on a bra and go to work is hard. Like, I'm sorry. It's not ever easy. And so I think that you can be doing aligned work and still crash and burn and still feel like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Every day I come in here and I tell Dan, I don't want to do it. It's too hard. I'm already sweating. Recording this is like, I've got cameras looking at me. I've got a timer going. It's on my computer. There's just like so much involved. So I do crash and burn. You're witnessing it right now. You're witnessing my crash and burn. But what I want you to know is that that is just a part of it. We don't get to have a job and do meaningful work without crashing and burning almost constantly. It's just, in my opinion, in my experience, just the way it is. Your last question is, how do you ignore the voices of panic or doubt? I panic on the regular. I've really done a good job of self-soothing and taking care of myself and giving myself what I need and not making the panic or doubt mean that I should throw in the towel. Again, panic and doubt are just par for the course in anything that you do, especially if it's something new, especially if it's something that you've never done before, especially if it's something forward facing on a camera, on YouTube, listening on like all of that stuff. Like the panic and doubt is just extremely, a part of it. What am I trying to say here? It is just a part of it. So how do I ignore it? I don't necessarily ignore it. I more just like observe it and keep going. Oh, there's the panic. There's the doubt. Yup. That's what's involved. That's what we got here. That's what we do. When like Greg came in with me, and we talked about our marriage and we talked about our kids. Like there is panic and doubt there that like I'm being so exposed and like my relationship is on display and what are people going to think and what are the observations going to be about the way that we interact, the way that we relate to each other. I have no idea. There's a lot of doubt in there. There's mild panic. And even with Greg, like last night, I was like, your episode's coming out. And he was like, oh my gosh, it just is hard. So panic and doubt, again, they don't mean that you're on the wrong course. They mean that like you're just a human doing human things, and panic and doubt are just along for the ride. So I observe them. I'm just like, oh, there you are. Sometimes I have to like sit and really breathe through them and like regulate myself, regulate my emotions, regulate my nervous system. But in general, I just expect them to be there. Instead of saying, uh-oh, something's gone wrong, panic and doubt are here, I guess I'm on the wrong path. I'm just like, yeah, this is just what it feels like to do the things. Oh gosh. So I just want to encourage you, Aubrey, and anyone who relates to Aubrey's questions, like just choose something and give it your all and decide that it's the right thing, because who's going to make that decision for you if not you? Who better than you to decide what the right thing is? Just make a decision, go for it, give it all you've got, allow the crash and burn, allow the voices of panic, allow the dopamine to ebb and flow, but mostly ebb. The dopamine will ebb and flow, but it will mostly ebb. It will mostly just feel like work because it's work. This is just what it feels like to work. You know what I'm saying? And it's so interesting because if we ever have the privilege of stopping work, I think that's not going to feel good either. Like, I just don't think that humans get to feel good all the time. I think most of the time we're just kind of in this state of like, I wish I was doing something else. Like all day long, I'm like, I wish I was in my bed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that that's kind of what it is to be human, and that's okay. It doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means like, yeah, this is the human experience. So Aubrey, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for allowing me to go off and rant an answer to your question. And if you want your question answered on the podcast, I would absolutely love to hear from you. The number is 833-281-2343. Again, that's 833-281-2343. You can just call, leave me a message. I listen to every single one of them. I answer as many as I can. I absolutely love to hear from you.